What is the best way to pick up properties to build long-term wealth over the next 10 years for you and your family? Hey guys, my name's Andrew Augustiniak, and I am of the Augustiniak lending team here in Arizona. We lend in 45 different states and help primary home buyers, second home buyers, investors all over the country. In today's video, we're going to be talking about organically acquiring property over the next 10 years. One thing that I've noticed is that most people never talk about real estate as being part of their financial portfolio. But if you ask somebody, real estate ends up being a large part of their net worth without them even planning for it. And my point there is real estate needs to be part of that talk with your financial planner, hopefully with your mortgage consultant, as what does that look like over the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, along with your 401k, along with your money market account, along with your checking and savings, along with any investments, your life insurance. Real estate needs to be part of that portfolio because most of the time it's what makes up your highest net worth. And that is something that I help my clients with, no matter what state you're in, because we lend in 45 different states. So I love getting on Zoom calls with my clients, talking about their future. Now, let's go back to it. So 10-year plan, okay? How do I acquire properties over the next 10 years? This is aside from flipping. This is aside from wholesaling. This is aside from subject to. This is aside from all of those different talks or gimmicks that you may seem. This is just down to earth, long-term investing and how to build generational wealth. Well, here's the trick. So I'm going to use a client, Anthony, came to me in 2014. He said, Andrew, how do I buy property with little out of pocket? You know, I don't have 25% down to just buy an investment property. How do I do this before he had kids? I said, Anthony, well, organic investing is where I buy a property using maybe down payment assistance, maybe a low down payment, and I go move into it. I live in it for a year. A year later, I go buy new property for myself with down payment assistance, maybe low down again, and I turn in the old one into my first rental property. Conventional thinking from our parents and our parents' parents is you keep that house for 40 years. The problem with that thinking, it's not growth mindset, meaning that home, you're not going to keep rolling and growing, right? If your money's not working for you, ever heard that? Your money's not working for you, then you're wasting time and you're wasting money. And so that mindset is great. You know, you live in the same house, you die in the same house, and 50 years from now, you still just have one house. But a growth mindset would say, if I can buy a house, turn it into a rental, that's my first investment property. A year later, I move, I do it again. A year later, I move. I can still buy these properties with down payment assistance or a low down payment on conventional loan, and I can do that as many times as I want. That allows me to buy a property under conventional terms with a low down, with a good interest rate. The only downside is you have to move, which can be a pain in the butt. When Anthony, that client that I'm using an example for, when he finally got married and had kids, he couldn't do that every year, obviously. But I've had couples who have bought multiple homes over 5 years with kids, and they're so thankful for doing that. Yes, the short-term move sucks every single time, but if you're looking of the way to buy property that you can have and build generational wealth in, that is the way to do it. It's called organic investing. So if you have any questions, my link is in my profile. I'm here to answer all of your questions. My name is Andrew Augustiniak from Neighborhood Loans, the Augustiniak lending team. And the one thing I want to leave you with is, what would the you 10 years from now be telling you today? And usually it'd be saying, just do it, because you don't want to live in regret.